Something I see in my real estate law practice is that sometimes people make the horrible mistake of choosing not to work with an agent.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's a seller doing a for sale by owner or a buyer choosing not to have an agent represent them, I mean, it's shocking and horrifying to me that anybody would do that. But what would you say to somebody who thinks that, oh, well, do I need to work with an agent? What is it that you bring to the table that I couldn't do if I've already bought and sold properties on my own in the past?
Sure. And that's a great question that is coming up really often, especially during these times. People assume that an agent is just sort of unnecessary and an extra fee that isn't going to get them much more than what they could provide for themselves. There was a situation recently where I was speaking with someone who wanted to do exactly what you're talking about, represent themselves in the sale of their home, and they didn't have an understanding of just the simple fact that as a seller, when you enter into a contract, if you accept an offer, you have very little wiggle room to get out of that transaction. If something goes wrong, you change your mind, whatever the case may be, the contracts are written entirely to protect the buyer. And so that alone, this person had no idea about. They thought they could open up escrow and cancel in the same way that a buyer could. So there are just intricacies to the contracts, to the negotiations, to the terms, all these pieces that if you're not working with someone who does this day in and day out, has experience in a multitude of different situations, because every one of these transactions is different, then odds are, number one, for sale by owners make on average 3% less, even including commission, when they sell a home themselves. And then in addition, all the risk you're assuming by just not knowing what you don't know. So
That's a big problem I see for sure. It's not knowing what you don't know.
mm-hmm.